Matt Gross.
And this is Post-Race Purgatory, where we judge all things NASCAR. Today we just finished the Phoenix race. Last week we ended the show by asking you if Kevin Harvick could get it done, making it 4 wins by 4 different teams. And as Mike Joy would put it, the Cactus King got it done.
Yeah. You know, you get to the end of these races, you saw that it was measured as 1/100th of a second, which was the same distance that we saw the margin of the photo finish at Daytona this year with Hamlin over Truex. But this appeared much closer because at Phoenix you don't have the speeds that you have at Daytona, so the distance bumper really if you could take a yardstick out, or maybe even a ruler, in this case might have been enough, and measure the difference between the front of Harvick's bumper and the front of Edwards' bumper and compared it to Hamlin and Truex, this seemed even closer.
It did. And also, I have to say, over the years of seeing the photo finishes, there's just something. Any photo finish is exciting, but there's just something so compelling about when cars bump.
Yes,
it
when
just makes it. It gets that attention so good.
When the contact initiated, in this case, first by Harvick and then by Edwards, but in this case, the initial contact by Harvick coming off the corner, is the difference in winning and losing.
Yes.
That is one of the most exciting things, maybe the most exciting thing that you can see in this sport.
You have to give both drivers an immense amount of credit here, because it wasn't one of those things where either the driver stood aside and let the other one have it. There was good hard racing. There wasn't a takeout. Carl had the opportunity to take him out, which I am happy he didn't do, but I kind of do wish he pushed it a little bit more.
Yeah.
He could have hit Kevin Harvick.
In this case, it was, I think everybody kind of did the right thing. It was just a matter of how much did you want to push it. And while Edwards did not need to wreck him in that case, he probably needed to move him a little bit more than he did. In this particular race, the only reason why it came down to a photo finish is because of the Casey Kane wreck with 6 laps to go. But the bigger thing I want to look at here that I take away going forward, because again in NASCAR, these early races unfortunately are diminished in importance because they backloaded the entire season with a chase. But what you want to look at here is Phoenix is in that second to last leg at the end of the season. It's the last step before Homestead.
Important.
And Harvick, the last couple of years, has just had an enormous advantage. I know Junior won a race short and race, but Harvick has been the heavy favorite. He still had the best car today, but instead of being about 3 steps ahead, he was only about 1 step ahead. And if these other teams, particularly Gibbs, who had 4 in the top 7 today, if they close that gap anymore, he may not be able to rely on this track to get a win if he needs a win.
Absolutely. He'll still be one of those cars that will be up there, but
yeah,
I
top
don't
five,
know that wonderful advantage. This is almost like a gift to Kevin Harvick on the race schedule, and he still is going to be a favorite, but he may pretty soon no longer be the only favorite.
Moving on to this week's Purgatory Penalty Box. For me, it's the entire Fox Sports team. I was just amazed that these people, in the 4th race of the year, so it's not even fatigue, it shouldn't be beginning of the season. This is just consistent mistakes all day from everybody. Right in there. Darrell Waltrip telling us that Kurt Busch was on the pole at the end of the free race. Not correct. Mike Joy not knowing how many laps there were to go at the end of the race when they make a final pit stop, saying there was 6 laps to go.
It's very good.
3.5. You had Matt Yoakum at the end of the race interviewing Dale Earnhardt Jr. and saying he finished second and finished 5th. How can you make it? There was a photo finish. He wasn't involved in it. How in the world are you saying that he finished 2nd? And then you have Jamie Little, who could have had a really good moment in this
race. And also, she's normally good, too.
Yeah, she's usually pretty good as well. But they just all had a bad day today.
He's off.
So you have Jamie Little. Now, in what could have been the Purgatory Penalty Box, the other move today, I think, was Kyle Busch, right? That's who I think you were going to nominate at one point, and you were close to it. But I think you may have ended up picking Fox as well. But in at this moment, okay, Jamie Little, if you're a pit reporter, you very, very rarely get to call a really significant piece of the action.
And she had a moment.
And she is in Kyle Busch's pit box. And then Fox showed her, right? And she had a front row seat for this, where Kyle Busch comes in, overshoots his pit, but doesn't go over the line. So he overshot the position where he was supposed to be in, but he didn't quite go over the line. There was a miscommunication in hand signals, whether they put their thumb up or just put their hand up.
Misread.
Whatever happened, Kyle Busch then thought, okay, I have to back up. And he didn't have the car in reverse. He goes over the line, runs over the air hose. Then they have to back up. Then he's too close to the wall because now he's backed up in the wrong
spot. Doesn't go up easily, which is another 3 seconds. This, by the way, they talked about the air hose on camera, but they did not talk about the jack going up. They did, I think, a little bit later. I think Gordon mentioned it a little bit after.
For a brief second.
But that actually cost you more time.
It did. And this pit stall, by the way, I believe went over 20 seconds, but I don't know exactly how long the pit stop was. You know why? Because Fox cuts away from it. Now, at this point, Kyle Busch has led the most laps in the race. He has been, at worst, a third-place car. He got a little worse as the race goes on. I think that being back in the pack and not knowing how to adjust on the car probably did not help that team's effort. But this was the story of the race to this point. And here you have Jamie Little, going back to her, doesn't do a good job at all describing the event, doesn't, change emotion. And I understand that as a pick reporter, you generally want to remain level-headed. Not at this moment. This is an emotional moment of the race. This is the biggest thing that has happened, and this was a chance for her to really talk about, how Kyle Busch overshoots his pit, and now he's too close to the wall. Some sort of excitement level in this. Not to be excited that the pit crew is failing or something like that, but it's a big moment in the race, and you didn't get that. And the fact that Fox cuts away from this is unbelievable to me. How do you not go back and analyze this? Because this really put them on a bad road.
In fact, we went to commercial break right after this mistake. When they came back, this was like, okay, let's talk about the Kyle Busch. You had a whole break to realize, oh my God, this is a game-changing move. Maybe we should talk about it. And what do they do in the lap gap? They bring up the Jimmy Johnson steering wheel issue of qualifying. Now, I have no problem about bringing that up in the pre-break. Because that is a good time to bring it up. But when you have a major story, you go to commercial break, you have the entire commercial break to talk about the story, and you don't bring it up after the break. They go to Kyle Busch finally, eventually, in passing, saying what happened after the restart, and now we have new live action play. And you talked about cutting away from the Kyle Busch shot. There were several times today we were watching excellent battles, and they cut the camera on this.
How about one of them when Dale Jr., Brad Keselowski, and Kevin Harvick, the most popular driver in 2 of the last 4 champions, are going 3 wide or at least 2.5 wide, if that's a thing, where you get 2 cars side by side and a third one kind of looking, and they cut away from it to go to a single file battle. And the other thing I think that I have the biggest overarching problem here with Fox this year, and it would have been a really, really good time, going back to the Kyle Busch incident, to bring in Larry McReynolds, because he's very, very good at talking about pit stop. Instead, and this is the biggest problem with Fox this year, they have put Larry McReynolds in the doghouse in favor of Darrell Waltrip. And I know they brought Jeff Gordon on, but honestly, the booth should be Mike Joy, Jeff Gordon, and Larry McReynolds. When they started this thing, it was originally Mike Joy, Darrell Waltrip, and Larry McReynolds, obviously. So you got the play-by-play man in Joy, you got the driver in Waltrip, and you've got the crew chief in McReynolds. As time has gone on, Darrell Waltrip has become completely out of touch with bringing driver analysis to the booth. So when they bring somebody in Jeff Gordon, who is excellent, who treats the audience like adults instead of 6-year-olds like Darrell Waltrip does.
I'm not sure if it's Darrell Waltrip thinking that people can't understand what Jeff Gordon is doing, or if Darrell can't understand what Jeff Gordon's doing. But either way, his analysis is not working.
No, and it cuts away from analysis that Larry McReynolds could be doing, because then Darrell tries to do the crew chief thing in the booth. It doesn't work at all. When Darrell Waltrip talks strategy, it's just, this is why you are not a crew chief. It becomes extremely obvious because he changes his opinion. He just says things that are blatantly wrong, and it really does not look good for Fox. And it's really sad, because if they had moved Darrell out of the booth instead of Larry McReynolds, they would have had the strongest threesome that we had in a while. I think that Joy, McReynolds, and Gordon together would have been excellent. But instead, they moved Larry McReynolds to the doghouse, is what they've done. And what's amazing is, McReynolds only gets like 3 or 4 short segments of the race. He still provides more analysis in those 3 or 4 segments than Darrell Waltrip does the whole race when he's blabbering on about nonsense.
He really does. It's a shame. It was just a bad move. Fox had so many mistakes today, and I get it. We all misspeak. I know I misspeak. It happens. But the errors that they misspoken on, not knowing who's on the pole, not knowing who finished second, not knowing how many laps to go when we're actually these are key things that really shouldn't be happening, and really shouldn't be happening that much by that many people in one race.
No.
Other bad news though, I have to say, I did come close to picking a driver this week. I came close to picking 2 drivers this week, but Fox, you win. You win the Purgatory Penalty Box, you broke me down. I was excited to actually give the driver some blame because we haven't nominated a driver yet. We had Kyle Busch overshooting his pit, but also, Keselowski, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you have a tire go down. First of all, NASCAR, you took a long time to throw that caution.
Yeah, NASCAR loves to throw debris caution when it doesn't on the racetrack. Here they took almost a minute when Keselowski's tire exploded and was showering debris all over the back straightaway.
You love debris, NASCAR, but then you get your caution. Now I understand pit road is not yet open, so you're trying to. What does that matter? Your tire is gone. Get into the pits.
Yeah, don't get on line.
And by the time we get there, he's got a shadow brake line. Now, there's a 50% shot that happened because he didn't come in. Now, there is the off chance that when that tire exploded, it also exploded the brake line. This is very true. But even if that is true, let's say that it would have happened either way. Don't you think it would have been better to have an extra lap to diagnose that problem and not send you so many laps down so you're going to be destined to finish 29th in today's race?
Yeah, the other thing though too is why I couldn't give it Keselowski cues. I'm not sure whether or not that was Paul Wolf's fault or Keselowski. It could go either way here. Keselowski missed it out on the racetrack, but there was a lot of chaos going on as Keselowski's coming through turns 3 and 4, whether or not to come in or not. And also, NASCAR taking a while to throw the caution probably contributed to some of that confusion. So that one's a little bit harder to know who to place the blame on. Paul Wolf is usually very good. If he told him to stay out, not good. But we don't. But again, I don't really know. And like I said, I was just so much more frustrated by Fox in this race.
Alright guys, we will be back to report with post-race Purgatory next week at Fontana, finishing up this West Coast spin.
The site of where NASCAR stole a race from Kurt Busch last year.
Oh yes. I mean, was it wrong? Maybe. Did we enjoy it?
Yeah, I thought it was rather amusing.
Maybe.
The level of corruption was incredible there.
Guys, let us know in the comments below who is your favorite announcer and who is your least favorite. If you could vote one of those guys out in favor of Larry, who would you do it? Or do you think Larry doesn't belong there?
Doesn't belong in the booth. Yeah, maybe you like Darryl. I think his act has grown thin, but maybe you feel differently. Also, let us know if you think Harvick is still going to have the advantage at Phoenix when we get here in the fall.
Yes. We will see you guys next week.